Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Gyantimandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurmilitanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manoveşam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the program this evening. We speak in English? So we're going to speak on a topic that is very, very important. The most important. What is that topic? The holy name. Should we speak on the holy name?
Yes.
The holy name is the foundation on which our spiritual life rests. Just like in a building, if the foundation is strong, the building will be strong. And if the foundation is weak, the building will collapse. So similarly, our spiritual life depends upon the holy name. Kali Kali Nama Rupa Krishna Avasar. In Kali Yuga, the Lord incarnates in the holy name. There are 4 principal ages, as you know. In Satya Yuga, the lifespan of the people was 100,000 years. And the process was deep meditation. People could meditate on the Lord for 60,000, 70,000 years. Then came which yoga? Siddha Yoga. Then the lifespan gets reduced 10 times to 10,000 times. And the process was elaborate sacrifices in which you needed pure Brahmins, pure ingredients. These Brahmins would ignite fire just by chanting mantras. Then came Dwapara Yuga, which the lifespan was how much? 1,000 years. And the process was elaborate worship of the Lord. Upland. People would not go to have darshan unless they took some presents in gold and so on. And then comes Kali Yuga, in which the lifespan gets reduced another 10 times, maximum 100 years. The sages in Namashranya were having a discussion 5,000 years ago. And the topic was, how can people in Kali Yuga be saved? And these sages were like astrologers. Just like you go to an astrologer. Tell me what's going to happen tomorrow. Isn't it? And astrologers never tell you what happened in the past. They say what's going to happen tomorrow and day after. So that if it doesn't happen, they are not caught. So these sages were astrologers. But they were genuine sages. They were very compassionate upon the fallen people. And they really wanted to know, how can people be saved? In Kali Yuga, people are very unfortunate. Why? They get this human form of life, but instead of using it to serve the Lord, they use it to enjoyment. Even our Indians are in the same boat. So, people are very unfortunate. They don't understand how rare this human birth is. then people are misguided. Nobody is there to guide them properly. It's a blind leading the blind. Raj Maharaj says, the blind are leading the blind. Is that true?
Yes.
Who is giving you proper guidance? In previous ages, the head of state would be a Raj Rishi. You know what's a Raj Rishi? What's a Raj Rishi?
King,
A king and a sage. Is that true today?
no.
Our leaders are neither kings nor sages, nor spirituality. So people are misguided. And if you have a blind man leading other blind men, then what happens? You all fall into it. So that's what's happening in society today. Our leaders are spiritually blind. They may have a 20 by 20 vision, but materially, spiritually they're blind. They have no understanding what should be the goal of life. And people are very quarrelsome. Is that true? Slight issues, they are quarrel. So, the Lord incarnated in the holy name. And this holy name is not different from the Lord. Many times material people wonder, how do they chant the same name day in and day out and not get tired? How is that possible? How? That's possible because the holy names are not different from the Lord. Let's say dollar. When you say dollar, does the dollar will manifest in front of you? No. Why? Because there's a difference between name and substance. You're hungry. You say, dokla, dokla, dokla. I assume majority people are Gujaratis. So, does the dokla manifest itself? No. Because there's a difference between name and substance. But in the case of the holy name, there's no difference. When you chant the holy name, the Lord dances on your tongue. So Rupa Goswami, in a small book called Sri Updeshamrit, he makes a very important statement. He says, the holy name of the Lord is sweet like sugar candy. And the glories of the Lord are also sweet like sugar candy. The passions of the Lord are also sweet. So when Rupa Goswami says sweet, what he means is people like it, so they chant. But because our tongue is afflicted with avidya, what does avidya mean? Ignorance. We cannot taste the sweetness of the holy name. We tell so many people chant, 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 and they have a standard answer, can. But we still persist. So the holy name is not different from the Lord. That's why we can chant the holy name. Krishna says in the Gita, Devesha gunamai mama maya durataya mame vame prapadante maya mitam tiranite. This illusory energy of mind is very difficult to overcome. And that's a fact. Maya is strong or weak?
Very strong.
Getting stronger?
Yes.
For example, these smartphones and cell phones. Even the leaders of social media are saying this is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing for the devotees because they take these smartphones, put Prabhupada's books over there and read the books and put pictures of deities. But those who are not in service to the Lord, what do they do? What do they do? On the smartphone there are so many games. Keep playing games, isn't it? Have you ever walked on a plane when you travel? You'll see either they're playing games, or watching a movie, or something of that type. So today, in other words, forgetting God has become very easy. You have everything at your fingertips. All the games, at one time, people used to go to movies to get entertainment. Then that got replaced by the television. They said, oh, we don't have to go out, we watch it on TV. And when the TV is on its way out, now they have the cell phone. So, but these same cell phones can be also used correctly. Milk gives you a bad stomach. The same milk, when consumed in the form of yogurt, it cures a bad stomach. So, if you use these facilities in service of the Lord, then it's okay. So, the holy name is our most important asset. And because of avidya, avidya means ignorance. When we talk about spiritual ignorance, we talk about Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. Last anger, greed, envy, hatred, jealousy. These are responsible for are not taking interest in spirituality. It's just like if you have temperature, you can't relish anything. So avidya means ignorance, and ignorance means being influenced by these anarthas. And Rupa Goswami says, Krishna says, but if you surrender to me, then you can overcome. How do you surrender? You surrender to the Lord by doing what the Lord wants you to do. And in this age, what do the Lord? You have seen in our Krishna conscious movement, today, as you know, the Krishna conscious movement is virtually in every corner of the globe. And even those people who had never heard of Krishna, who knew nothing about spiritual life, they got introduced to the chanting and have become purified. Once somebody asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, can you do some miracles? Swamiji said, one miracle I've done. What? I've converted thousands of brahmacharis into brahmanas. Brahmacharya means one who has a human life, but he is wasting it. And brahmana means one who is living according to scriptural guidelines. So that's not a small miracle. But how did Prabhupada do this miracle? How did Prabhupada start this movement? Who knows? When Prabhupada came from India, he had sets of first canto Bhagavatam and a drum. And he took the drum, started doing kirtan, people started coming, and gradually they got purified. So, this chanting of the holy name is no different from the Lord. Nama Chantamni Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Bhukto Venadvam Nama Naminaha. The holy names of the Lord are like Chantamni touchstone. You know what's a touchstone? What's a touchstone? You touch it anywhere, turns into gold. There was once a Brahmin who had pleased Lord Shiva with his austerities. So Lord Shiva said, okay, you please me with your austerities, what do you want? I want to become a rich man. I want to be the richest man on the planet. Okay, I'll send you to your destination. Go there, there's a sage called Sanatana Goswami. Tell him I sent you. He'll give you something valuable. So he went to Sanatana Goswami and performed great austerities. and Lord Shiva has sent me to you. I want to become the wealthiest man on the planet. Oh, that's all? Okay, no problem. You see the heap of garbage? Go over there. And underneath that heap of garbage, the touchstone. That touchstone, wherever you touch it, you convert everything into gold. Oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. Where whatever I touch becomes gold. So he went, took out all the garbage. There was so much garbage. The stone was right in the bottom of the garbage. And finally he found the touchstone. He experimented. Said, let me see if what I was told was true or not. So wherever he touched, it turned into gold. Yeah, that's great. So one intelligent man met him, and he tried it on him. So he said, how did he get this touchstone? So he gave the whole history. And where was this touchstone placed? He said, oh, under a heap of garbage. I had to toil very hard to take the garbage out, and I found this in the bottom of the garbage can. So the intelligent man said, well, does anyone keep any valuable asset under a heap of garbage? He said, no. So this sage must be having something more expensive, more valuable. So he came to the sage and said, if this was the most valuable thing you had, why did you keep it in a heap of garbage? Sure, you must be having something more valuable. And the sage said, yes, but if you want that, you have to throw this out. And he threw the touchstone and he got what? The holy name. So the holy name is our most valuable asset, but unfortunately we don't value it. Very few of us realize the holy name is very valuable. Very few of us realize time is very valuable. Do any of you realize time is valuable? Chanakya Pandit said, a minute lost cannot be made up with the wealth of the entire world. So the holy name should be cultivated, should be chanted, should be preached. So it is said in the Shastra, Namachantamani Krishna. The holy name of the Lord is like a touchstone. Knowingly or unknowingly, anybody chance benefits. Prabhupada gave the example. He said, sometimes people jokingly say, look at those crazy Hare Krishnas. They say that? They say that. Still he utters the word Krishna. Once there was a court case going on in America, and the newspaper headlines were coming, Hare Krishna, they were getting spiritual benefit. Even though they're speaking from a negative angle, at least they're saying Hare Krishna. So, knowingly or unknowingly, if you chant Hare Krishna, you get benefit. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Purno Shuddha Nitya Mukto. Purno means complete. The holy name is complete by itself. If you want spiritual perfection, if you want spiritual success, if you want spirituality, all you need to know in this Kali Yuga is the holy name of the Lord. Nothing else. It's not that you need big pundits, yagashala, pure ingredients. No. All you need is the holy name. So this holy name is all pure, and you don't need anything besides the holy name. And sometimes people say, oh, just the holy name alone? Sometimes someone may say, publicly I chant Hare Krishna, But privately I also chant other mantras. That is an offense. When Prabhupada opened the first ISKCON temple in New York, he told the devotees to chant 64 rounds a day. And he couldn't chant 64. The devotees came back and said, Swami, 64 is very difficult. Prabhupada said, okay, do 32 rounds. He couldn't do 32. Prabhupada said 16 and final. No more negotiation. Sometimes the devotees say, Prabhupada reduced it from 64 to 16. Can't you just reduce it further? We said, no. Whichever adjustments had to be made were made by Prabhupada, who was the founder of Acharya. Now for the next 10,000 years, our business is just to chant and repeat what Prabhupada has given us. We don't concoct anything. So the holy names of the Lord are complete in all respects. You don't need anything besides the holy name. You should have full faith. If you have time beyond 16 rounds, chant more. There is disqualification in terms of not chanting less. But more, the sky is the limit. You can go. So, holy name is Purno. Complete in all respects. And what did Lord Chaitanya say? My dear Lord, there are no hard and fast rules for chanting the holy name. Did he say that?
Yeah.
You can chant the holy name at any time, at any place. You don't have to be an initiated Brahmin to chant the holy name. Lord Chaitanya started the Sankirtan movement in Navadvip. When Lord Chaitanya started the Sankirtan movement, many people opposed it. At that time, there was a Muslim group, and the Muslims would say, if you don't stop Nimai from doing it, Hariram Sankirtan, then all the Muslims will become Hindus. And the Hindus were saying, oh, what Nimai is doing is simply concoction. Where in the Shastra it is said that? Why? Because the so-called Pandits who were there before Nimai Sankirtan movement started, they lost their income. They lost their bread. People say they would do yagyas and charge money. The Harinam is free. Is it free or no? Huh. So they also opposed it. And there was one Mohammedan. He was a mullah. He would always complain to the Qadi, we must stop this demise Harinam movement. So the Qadi said, you're always complaining. Stop, stop, stop. Whenever I see you, you're always chanting Hare Krishna. What is this? Contradiction. He said, yes. Ever since I heard the holy name, I just can't stop chanting the holy name. So that's the power of the holy name. So the holy name is complete in all respects. Shuddha. It is all pure. The holy name is pure. Where is the holy name descending from? Where? From the spiritual world. Are we pure? No? Devotees in not pure? We are impure. Impure in what respect? We have unlimited material desires. It has nothing to do with Krishna, nothing to do with bhakti, nothing to do with achieving the goal of life. Then what does it have to do with? It has to do with trying to gratify your senses. What is the difference between spiritual knowledge and material knowledge? Material knowledge teaches you how to give better facilities to your senses. Spiritual knowledge in a nutshell teaches you how to love God, how to serve God. So the holy name is all pure and nitya mukta. It can give one eternal liberation. So the holy name is complete in all respects. There are 3 stages of chanting the holy name. The first stage is, what's the first stage? Offensive stage. We're chanting and committing offenses at the same time. We're chanting and smoking, chanting and drinking, chanting and watching movies. But at least I'm chanting. If you go in chanting, come in contact with the devotees of the Lord, then you get knowledge. Knowledge in terms of what should be done, what should not be done. What's anikul, what's pratikul. And then those who are intelligent, they make an attempt to avoid the offenses. And if we still continue, we get to the pure state. These 10 offenses are so, we should avoid offenses. These offenses are so important. In virtually every ISKCON temple, we chant in the morning. To remind, we should be aware of that. So, the holy name can cleanse the heart. Gopal Krishna says, Adho Shraddha Tata Sadhu. In the initial stage, you must have this faith that I want to serve God. And if you have that sincere desire, then God will guide you towards sadhu. Krishna is in everyone's heart. Ishwar Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshwarajunatesha. Just like when you're passing through a garden, you smell the fragrance of the flower and you can identify the flower. So the Lord is in the heart. And you can smell all our desires. All. You may be wondering, that's God. God is inconceivable. You can't comprehend God with your material sense. So the Lord, when He sees that you have a genuine desire to serve the Lord, then He guides you to an appropriate saintly person. A saintly person may be a sadhu or a book. Prabhupada encouraged book distribution. Why? And Prabhupada said, these books are not different from me. And Prabhupada said, everything I need to say is in these books. Because these books have transcendental knowledge. And there's so many devotees all over the world who became devotees by reading these books. So, if you have that sincere desire, somebody gives you a book, or you meet a devotee behind. And then in their association, you get to know the value of chanting Hare Krishna. And when you chant Hare Krishna, what happens? Anartha nivritti. The anartha in brief means undesirable elements. Like lust and greed and envy, they begin to get weaker. Krishna says in the Gita, there are 3 activities that lead you to hell. What are they? 3 highways going to hell. No. Huh? Lust, anger, greed. What's our greed today? I want more. Anger and lust. Krishna, in the 3rd chapter, Arjuna questioned, how is one compelled into sinful acts unwillingly? We know something is wrong, we still execute it. And the Lord said, it is lust only, the all-devouring enemy of the living entity. It is burning like fire and never satisfied. This is his enemy. And what did Krishna say for them? What did he say after that? Who knows? Who knows? Curb this enemy with a weapon of knowledge. Doesn't he say that? With a weapon of knowledge, destroy the enemy. So knowledge means knowledge is there in the books, knowledge that you receive from the sadhu. So the holy name is all attractive, but we don't have an attraction because of our impure mentality. But the impure mentality can become pure. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says, "My dear Lord, your holy names are so beautiful, so sweet, that even if you have 1,000 mouths, it will not be enough. 1,000 tongues. We have one tongue in 2 years, and that one tongue is supposed to vibrate the glories of the Lord all the time. Can we control it? No. Imagine if we had 1,000 tongues, and he was told, now with all 1,000 tongues vibrate the glories. Would it be easy? No. So, the holy name is so sweet. We read many wonderful examples. Hairaj Thakur was born in a Brahmin family because he had offended Lord Brahma and he had a desire to take away humble birth. So Hairaj Thakur, as you know, you should chant the holy name how many times a day? 300,000 times a day. The local councillor was very envious of Hairaj. Why? No one comes to see me. Everyone comes to see him. So he conspired to defame Hairaj. He called all the prostitutes of town and said, I have a special assignment for you all. The prostitute said, what? I want you to seduce Hairaj. All the prostitutes said, oh, we can't do this. He's so pure. We can't do this. But one prostitute was more daring. Don't worry, I'll trap him. Just give me 3 days, 1 day. So Hairaj was supposed to move on to another location. A saintly person doesn't stay in one place for long. Shukadeva Goswami would travel from house to house. And how long would he stay in one house? How long? As long as time to milk the cow. So Hairaj also would keep moving. So he was about to move when this prostitute came. She came before midnight, before night started. She tried her best to seduce him. Hairaj said, I haven't satisfied, finished my round. Let me finish my round. So she went on hearing, and on the 3rd night she became a devotee. So this holy name is our protection against Maya. You may say, oh, that was Hairaj Thakur. We are so fallen. Yes, we are fallen. The holy name is as powerful today as it was 500 years ago or 5,000 years ago. So the holy name should be chanted. The holy name, but many times we see, we lose taste for the holy name. What are the causes? Guru Aparad, Vaishnava Aparad, fault finding, jealousy. When we do these things, then what happens? Due to these offenses, you lose the taste for the holy name. Then what happens? You don't feel like chanting the holy name. You don't feel like chanting. That is a result of offenses. Therefore it is said, when you chant, you should make sure we also avoid the offense. The holy name of the Lord is our most important asset. Haridas Thakur was dragged in how many marketplaces? 22. Why was he dragged? He was told again and again, warned again and again, please stop chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. But he went on chanting. And then he was dragged to 22 marketplaces. Usually, by the time somebody would be dragged into the second or third market, being whipped, he would die. Haridas didn't die till market 22. In fact, there was no sign of leashing on his body. So those who were whipping him, they got scared. They said, what are we going to do? The king won't leave us alive. Haridas, even though he was being whipped, and if it was any of us, we would say tit for tat. They're beating us, we should whip him back. He went on tolerating all that. And he pretended as if he was dead. And then those who were whipping him rejoiced and said, now we have achieved our goal. So the king was informed, last Haridas was dying. The king said, okay, gave him a burial by Muslim rites. But the Qazi said, no! He was chanting a Hindu name of God. We don't even take rice from a Hindu's house. How can we give the privileged Muslim burial? Throw him in the Ganga. So they threw him in the Ganga. Haridas swam across and started chanting. Word reached the king. This Haridas, who they thought was dead, is alive, chanting the name of the Lord. And the king recognized that he made a big mistake, and he apologized. So the holy name is our protection against Maya. The holy name is our guide to spiritual advancement. Therefore, Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, if you want to be in a Jeev Jago prayer, if you want to beg for something, what should you beg for? What should you beg for? Holy name. But we never beg for the holy name. We beg for business favors, business opportunities. We should be begging for the holy name. Vihe Thakur, Vani Thakur, Sada Hari Puri Thakur. He says, it doesn't matter which ashram of life you are in, just chant the holy name of the Lord. So our appeal to all of you is, please get attached to the holy name. Many times people say, how can I get ruchi? How many of you would like to have ruchi, the holy name? But nothing comes free. You can't even go back to Godhead free. You have to buy a ticket. What does Krishna say? Sarva dharma paritajya mahamekam ham dhamsura papavyo moksha. I will protect you, but only on one condition, if you surrender unto me. Krishna doesn't say, you do your nonsense and I'll protect you. He says, if you surrender to me, do what I say, then I'm ready to protect you, not otherwise. So we have this wonderful Krishna conscious movement where Prabhupada gave us the real truth, the real message. So we should chant the holy name and preach the glories of the holy name. Lord Chaitanya, when he was touring southern India, he stayed in the house of a Brahmana known as Kurma. The Kurma Brahman was a householder. He had a wife and children. So Lord Chaitanya stayed in his house and he was warmly received by him. Then the Kurma Brahmin said, "My dear Lord, I am highly dissatisfied staying at home. Please take me with you. I want to join you." The Lord Chaitanya said, "No need to travel with me. Just chant the holy name and preach the glories of the holy day. Read the Gita and preach the glories of the Gita. This way, you will always be with me and I will always be with you." So it doesn't matter what ashram of life you are in. Please chant the holy name. Doesn't matter, sukhe dukhe, whether you are in happiness or distress. Generally, when we are in happiness, we don't turn to God, isn't it? When we are in distress, Krishna says, people come to me under four circumstances. What are they? One who is in distress. You people ever get in distress?
Yep.
Okay. I meet so many people who are taking anti-drug tablets. So I tell them, anti-depression tablets, I'm sorry. Tell them you don't have to take anti-depression tablets. Chant Hare Krishna, your depression will go away. So when you're in distress. Then the next is the inquisitive, curious. One who has knowledge, and one who wants wealth. I heard that you devotees are very renounced, you don't want wealth. You want wealth or you don't want? You are too shy. Okay, everyone wants wealth. So whatever the reason is, Krishna says, come to me. Krishna says, the demigods, the benediction they are giving you is actually coming from me. So take shelter of me. So we've come to this Krishna conscious movement where we've been introduced to the ruchi, taste. But how can you develop this taste? You can develop this taste by chanting the holy name. Our goal should be to chant all the time. But if you can't chant all the time, at least chant your 60 now and attentively. People often ask me, what do you mean by attentively? Really, when you're chanting around, just concentrate on the chanting and nothing else. And you will see that the better your chanting is, the faster will be the cleansing of the heart, and the faster will be the developing taste for the holy name. So we should aspire, endeavor, proceed with determination to chant the holy name of the Lord. And the holy name, you can chant day and night and not get tired. And this holy name is our most important asset. Sometimes we say, yes, I'll chant, but tomorrow, Kal. And what happens before Kal? Kal happens. So there's danger at every step. So our request is, please chant the holy name. The whole world is suffering for lack of Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada wanted the holy name to be chanted everywhere. What did Lord Chaitanya say? Prithiviti Ajay Sarvada Prachara. Every town and village, the holy name will be chanted. You can go to China, people are chanting Hare Krishna. Go to Africa, they're chanting. And the Hare Krishna is so easy to chant. If you were told, let's take any verse from Bhagavad Gita out of the 700, and you were told, chant this mantra, it would not be so easy, isn't it? It takes time to learn the mantra, the sloka. Hare Krishna, does it take time? No. I've been in China, Africa, areas where people have never heard of Hare Krishna. You tell them Hare Krishna, they respond favorably. So this is because the Lord has made it so simple that you don't need any Sanskrit knowledge or Hindi knowledge, you can chant Hare Krishna. So please chant, preach. I understand your devotees are endeavoring to build a nice temple here also. What's that area called? Parsi. Yeah, I think I saw that place once. So you are building a temple in Parsippany. So why do we build these temples? Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, these temples are spiritual hospitals. Why does one go into a hospital? Okay. So we are all deeply contaminated. Lord Chaitanya sent Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami to Vrindavan, and he gave them 3 principal instructions. One was to write books on the process of devotional service, which was based on his teachings. The other one was to open temples. All these prominent temples you see were built and inspired by the Goswamis. And the third one was to identify places where the Lord has performed his pastime. So these temples are meant to serve as a base from which the message of the Lord will be broadcasted. Those of you who visit India may have seen. Now in many parts of India, especially South India, in every corner there's a church, is that right? Every corner there's a mosque. And temple, not in every corner, in every city what. So I was in the Middle East and I saw so many temples over there, so many mosques in every corner. So I asked the devotees, how do they build these mosques? Does the government pay for it? They said, no! Muhammad, when he makes money, before he builds his own house, he'll make a house for the Lord. Then he'll make his house. And our Hindus, suppose we make our house, then we will make a retreat center, then a house for our children and grandchildren, and then if some changes left, I'll give it to the Hare Krishna. So the Lord wants temples to be built. Temple building is one of the Vedic duties that we perform. So this temple that is being built, of course building a temple is always a struggle. We built so many temples in India and I know what we have to go through. So building temples is always a struggle. But it's a struggle for Krishna. Prabhupada was once coming down the left and his health wasn't good. So devotees were telling him, Prabhupada, please go and take rest in Gita Nagari. Prabhupada said, don't take away my privilege to struggle for Krishna. So to struggle for Krishna or do something is a privilege that only the fortunate people get. So I believe the purpose of this temple is, as you know, to broadcast the message of the Lord. Prabhupada said, I can sit underneath a tree and do bhajan. I don't need a temple. But if I only live underneath the tree, then nobody will come. But if I have a temple, then thousands of people will come. So these temples are bases from which we spread the message of the Lord. These temples are bases from which we enlighten people. Our temples are not for eating and sleeping, but they are meant to preach. And in the Shastra it is said, anybody who helps build the temple of the Lord, he gets unlimited mercy of the Lord. When Prabhupada came to Bombay, he had to struggle a lot with some evil forces. So there was one Mr. Sethi who helped Prabhupada a lot in building the temple. So Prabhupada was talking to Sethi, and one day he said, Sethi, you are making a house for Krishna here, and Krishna is making your house in his abode. So Krishna becomes very indebted to one who helps build his temple. So I'm just visiting sannyasi here, and I'm just reminding you all, it's a wonderful opportunity to engage in service, and please engage in service, and all of you become instruments in building this temple and civil temples in every corner. And if you do that, Krishna will be pleased. Hare Krishna. So, any questions? Any comments? Any questions? No questions?
Maharaj, some people say like I can chant Hari name
Yeah.
or Krishna name, but I don't need Guru. So like how to explain them? Can you please?
We don't say accepting a guru is not our idea. It's in the Shastra. It's in the Bhagavad Gita. Learn the truth by putting us self-reliant soul. You can't just make anyone a guru. Guru must also have qualification. Vacha vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara pasa vegam. And a guru is a spiritual teacher. Lord Chaitanya said, first step, accept the body by spiritual master. Second step, serve him. Third step, take initiation. Fourth step, ask him, what do I have to give up to make spiritual advancement? Fifth step, if you have to give up something, give it up. So this is in the Shastra. But most people, they don't want discipline. They don't want anyone to regulate them. So they are the ones who say like that. And having a guru is only advantageous if you're going to follow him. If you just want a guru for names like, he's my guru. And Prabhupada said, there's no value. Having a guru has a value only when you're ready to follow him and stuff. Yes.
How do you know if you're chanting right?
I'm sorry.
How do you know if you're chanting right? And if not, then how do you improve?
Well, take advantage of those who are more advanced. Ask them to hear your chanting. And especially you should make sure chant all the alphabet. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Once the father asked the son, son, you must do 16 rounds every day. Son said, okay. So the father asked him, have you done your rounds? He said, yes. So fast? Very easy. On the first beat I chanted the whole mantra. On the other beat I said, ditto, 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 ditto. So if you want some clarification, take the help of a spiritual teacher. Any question from adults? Yeah. Yes, yes.
Maharaj, you talked about chanting regularly.
Beg your pardon?
You talked about chanting regularly. So when we hear about chanting in temples, we feel motivated and enthusiastic. But how to maintain that enthusiasm?
By constantly being in spiritual association. The scriptures say, sadhu sangha, sarva sangha. Always be in the association of advanced devotees. Hear them. We don't want to make any effort to hear them. Then you won't advance spiritually. You should be anxious to hear Make some sacrifice in your life. People take Diksha and have no sacrifice spirit. So they're cheating in this way. So you should have the spirit of sacrifice. Stay in devotee association. Okay. Yes, sir.
Why Hare Krishna Mahamantra has only 16 syllables?
You should ask Krishna that. How can I answer? That's the way the mantra is composed. You mean if it had 17 or 18, you would chant more? Krishna's given a mantra in this form itself. I don't know why this thing. This is the way the Mahamantra is. More questions? Yeah.
If you want Krishna to answer his question, then you have to chant the holy name.
Good. Any more questions from adults? Yeah.
Guru Maharaj, one question, like I'm talking to somebody in the office, though they are interested to the ISKCON process, but at the same time they want to like see the watch movie and this, because of they want to give up that, having this fear, they are not joining the movement. They say no, we don't want to lose that.
In the beginning, just tell people to chant. Don't tell them, okay, you can't watch movies or smile, okay? Just let them chant. Prabhupada, when he opened the first temple in New York, he told people, just chant. And after a few weeks, devotees came and said, Swamiji, don't you want us to follow some rules? Just let them chant and be happy. They chant, automatically they got purified.
But they heard from somewhere like this is the ISKCON process, slowly we have to give up this and that, so...
But it's like they in Prabhupada's books. What do you have to give up, what do you don't give up? So we don't bluff. Our path is very transparent. We present the transparent path. So we don't bluff people. Prabhupada, when he came to America, many people know, Swamiji, don't preach this pure message. He refused to compromise. You understand? ISKCON is an honest movement, meant for honest people. Okay, any more questions? Oh. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting all of you. We came after a long time to Towaco, you know. I was at 2 months tour of North America, now over to Russia to work. And please all of you work together and build this nice temple for the Lord. Yeah, what do you think? Hare Krishna.